everyone.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Noel Francis, and I am the chairperson of the Town of Templeton Advisory Committee. At this time, we have a quorum of a full board of 5 members. This time, I would like to call the meeting to order. The Templeton Advisory Committee regular business is being broadcast live on TCTV Channel 8 and the TCTV YouTube channel. Responses will be made to comments in the TCTV YouTube channel as time permits. The agenda and meeting materials for this business meeting were posted to mytowngovernment.org/01468 no later than 48 hours prior to the scheduled meeting in accordance with Commonwealth of Massachusetts open meeting laws. The chair reserves the right to add items to, remove items from, or change the order of the agenda. However, the agenda is posted in advance to give the committee and public time to review the agenda items and to ensure that the meeting runs within the allotted time frame. At this time, if we could rise and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, there being no members of the public present, I will skip over item 3, the public comments. We have, since our last meeting, we have 2 new members. And from left to right, Beverly Bartolomeo, April Cover,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, and Liz Toth, Jacqueline
Macumber.
and Noel Francis. So at this time, I would like to read a communication from the select board, Lisa Basso. She wrote me today, and she wrote the following: as we begin the process of hiring a new town administrator, we are assembling a screening board to assist with reviewing applications and conducting interviews with selected candidates. We are seeking 1 representative from the advisory committee to serve on this board. The selected volunteer will be expected to review applicant materials, attend screening meetings, and participate in candidate interviews over the next several weeks. We are hoping for a representative who demonstrates professionalism, discretion, and a strong understanding of municipal operations. I kindly ask that you identify a willing and qualified member of the advisory committee and submit their name to me via email at lbasso@templetonmass.gov by 12:00 p.m. on Monday, July the 28th. Thank you for your assistance and continued leadership on behalf of the town of Templeton. I did respond to that. And my response was, hello, Lisa, advisory is meeting tonight. We did not receive enough notice to put on the agenda for tonight. We will be talking about putting this matter on the advisory agenda for a meeting 1 week from tonight, which would be Thursday, July 31st. Thank you, Noel Francis, advisory chair. And she further responded that I will let the rest of the select board know. Your response is greatly appreciated. So I have spoken with Steve Castle. I do still need to speak with Holly Young, but TCTV would be available to tape a meeting if held next Thursday. I think this is a very important item that member of advisory serve to help select a new town administrator. I would like to ask at this time if we would be able to have a quorum. Will you be able to attend? Okay.
Yes.
Well, okay, I will be able to attend. Liz? Jacqueline?
Yep.
Okay. So I will make sure that a meeting is posted this Monday for next Thursday at 6:30 here at Town Hall to discuss that. And also, there may be other items on the agenda that were, they're on tonight's agenda that need to be tabled for another week.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. At this time, the next item is the review and approval of the June 5th, 2025 minutes. It's June 5th, 2025 minutes, not the June 25th minutes. Have all of you had a chance to review the minutes?
Yes.
Do you need a few minutes, minute or two, guys?
Can we go on if we weren't here? No, I don't think so.
Is there any discussion? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of June 25th.
I move that we approve the minutes of June 25th.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any further discussion? There being none. Bev, do you wish to vote or vote present?
Present.
Okay. April, do you wish to
Present.
vote present? Okay. Liz?
Yes.
Jacqueline?
Yes.
And I vote yes. So the motion is approved.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, the next set of meeting minutes are the June 11th minutes. I was a joint meeting with the select board to consider transfers. Is there any discussion?
For June 5th?
Yes, I'm sorry, June
Ju-
11th.
June 11th. Oh,
I'm sorry. Yeah, the first set was June 5th. This is the second set.
no, we just voted on the June 25th?
We just voted on the June 25th.
June 5th.
Yeah, June,
25th. Liz, you 25th too?
25th.
I guess the 5th.
Well, there is the 5th, but I thought you skipped and went to 25th.
No, no, I did. I'm doing it in order by
Oh, well,
oldest to newest.
Okay.
okay, then I do have a correction for June 5th.
That's-
Sorry. So the,
You wish to reconsider?
yes, please.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I wrote that Liz motion to approve the June 25th, 2025 meetings. That's what I just wrote.
That's what I did a motion on, was June 25th.
Not
Okay.
June 5th.
Okay. All right, do you have a change that you wish?
So we on to the June 5th meeting notes now, or are we going back?
No, let's start with the June 5th. Is there any changes that you wish to make?
Yes,
Okay,
it's John Caplis had already resigned by, no, he had not.
No, we're not.
Oh,
he resigned by a letter sometime after that.
okay, never mind, then I don't have a correction.
That's why he's also absent on June 11th, I think.
Okay,
Possibly, maybe,
all right.
maybe I didn't think, I don't know. Yes, absent John Caplis. It was after June 11th that he had resigned.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I just want to do this right.
Yep.
Okay,
Mhm.
June 5th.
June 5th.
June 5th. All right. Is there a motion and a second on the June 5th?
I move to approve the June 5th.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion on the June 5th? There being none. We'll vote. Liz?
Yes.
Right. Jacqueline?
Yes.
Bev?
Present.
Present.
Present. I vote yes. All right, so on the June 5th. They're approved.
Yep.
Okay. Now the June 11th, which was a joint meeting with the select board, and at that meeting, there were 2 transfers to be considered. Any discussion? Okay. There being no discussion, I'll entertain a motion on the June 11th, 2025 minutes.
I make a motion that we approve the June 11th meeting minutes, if I can talk tonight.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Yep.
This time I'll call the roll. Bev?
Yes.
Present? Okay.
Present.
April present. Okay, Liz?
Yes.
Jacqueline?
Yes.
I also vote yes. Okay, now for the June 25th meeting minutes. This was a joint meeting with the select board as well, where we discussed numerous items. Is there a need to discuss these minutes?
I don't have any.
Okay.
I'm good. I wrote them.
Okay. All right. I'll entertain a motion.
I move we accept the June 25th. Too bad.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. All right, at this time, I'll ask for a vote. Bev?
Present.
Present.
You?
Yes.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Thank you all. Okay, the next item on the agenda is discussion, review, and possible recommendation concerning the amount of monies earned in the town and investment accounts and the reporting of such earnings to taxpayers. Everybody should have a draft.
Oh, draft.
7 pages.
Were you able to find it, Ben?
Yeah, I don't know where I put it. Buried it. Oh, here it is. Yep. That's not it. Not it? No, that's for. What are we looking at? Budget, is it actual? What are we looking at? We are looking at the quarterly report.
It's item 5A, discussion, review, and possible recommendation concerning the amount of monies earned in the town investment accounts and the reporting of such earnings to taxpayers.
Stuff's not in order. That's not in order.
It's like I think it's the last page of the backside.
Yeah, the RE's recommendation concerning town investment accounts.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes it a little more difficult because the draft are printed on both sides.
Just trying to save a couple trees.
Yeah, we're using a few tonight.
I'll give everybody a moment to read through this.
This was included in the email that you sent with the agenda?
Yeah, I sent that
Earlier
this
this week?
morning or this afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, has everybody had a chance to look?
Yep.
I just like to open the discussion by stating that this was one of the items that was discussed in our joint meeting last month with the select board. And also the auditor, Roselli, they were present. And as far as the first paragraph, I think it was Mr. Bennett. Well, the goal of the first paragraph is to try to have something that's a snapshot within the annual report. And Mr. Bennett suggested a statement also of that it be within the quarterly reports of the town. And then for the second paragraph about writing the state representatives, the auditors were present at that meeting, Roselli, and they, the gentleman said that by statute, the the town investment accounts must be very conservatively invested. And the town is very limited as to, what they can invest in and what rate of return. There were, I believe, in looking at the annual report, there was about $4 to $5 million of town funds under investment. The number obviously goes up and down, and it appears that those funds earned a rate of return of about 4 to 5% interest as a return. So that's what led up, some of the discussion that led up to that. I do have some things I want to say, but I would like to give folks, a chance to.
I think it would be appropriate to put them into the quarterly, the earnings into the quarterly report. And also the annual. Public does have a right to know it is their money.
Yeah, in all the years that I've been on the advisory board, this has never been talked about. So I think it's a good thing. It gives people more information. If people want to read it or ask questions, they have a right to do that.
I think it is. I think it adds to the transparency.
Yeah.
It'll be up for debate within the select board as to which actual position in town,
Yeah.
needs to report on that and needs to handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's their
it's,
review.
yeah.
Let them do that.
I originally brought this because I look at the annual report and it's very, very complete, but I also feel like sometimes I drown in information. And I have always felt, and I know previous members of advisory have felt, that at least the key funds, it's kind of like reading your your portfolio statement every month or your retirement statement is, the taxpayer should know what is under investment and what's been the return on that investment. And other key information, what have we spent this quarter out of the appropriated funds? And it just seems, the information's there, but it just seems to be buried. And that's really why I felt this should be brought forward. As to the other item, the second paragraph concerning statutes as to how the town may invest its funds, I feel that there's really two sides of the coin. You want the funds invested conservatively because if you were to invest in equities, they can they can turn and you can lose a lot of money. But I look at what the Worcester County retirement system does, and they are allowed to invest more aggressively than the town can. And they have had returns in the 10 to 11% range. I believe the last year, the reports available was 2023, and the return was 11%. And they invest in all sorts of mutual funds and equities, and this is the pension monies of the town employees. And my feeling is if the Worcester County retirement system can do this, why shouldn't the town be able to take a slice of the monies that are that are entrusted to the town? A slice, if you have $5 million, maybe a $1 million slice. And if you were able to get the returns of the Worcester County retirement system, it could be an additional $100,000 to $150,000 in return to the town. I also feel that the state statutes are woefully out of date, and they don't take into account really modern investing techniques. I am aware personally, and I'm sure if anybody who invests, I can think of one fund. You can pick the investment and you can ask, it's almost like an annuity. You can pick a group of funds within this mutual fund of 4% or 6% or 8%. There's other annuity funds with strong companies that guarantee results, of 8%, 10%, 12%. I think to be held to 5% by statute, yes, it's safe, but there's money on the table, which is why I feel that the select board should write our state representatives to ask for a review of those statutes.
I would agree. I think that, obviously you should be conservative with a large amount of it. But in the same aspect, I think a portion of it should be invested in high risk.
Agree.
I understand.
You all set, Bev?
Yep.
Okay. This time I would entertain a motion on the recommendation concerning town investment accounts.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
You have a second.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, there being no further discussion, I would do roll call vote at this time. Bev?
Yes.
April?
Yes.
Okay, Liz?
Yes.
Jacqueline?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, if whatever one's passed, I'm happy to bring them next Thursday and we can sign them.
Is that agreeable?
Sure.
Fill in, but I'm gonna fill in.
Yeah.
Yes. Did these last night.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is discussion and possible recommendation concerning payment in lieu of taxes, also called pilot payments of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and discussion and possible recommendation concerning State Senate Bill S1939 regarding an increase of pilot payments from the Commonwealth to the cities and towns. If I may, I'd like to give a brief overview if that's
That'd be great.
acceptable to everybody. 2 years ago, Mr. Lamontagne, Mr. Toth, and myself, we met by Zoom meeting with the state auditor and her staff, Diana DiZoglio, and we discussed several different items at that time. And one of the items that came up was we asked her if she could review pilot payments of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to the town of Templeton and other towns. We expressed at that time that we felt that there was a lot of land in Templeton and that the Commonwealth should pay the town of Templeton more.
A lot of state land.
What?
Lot of state
There's a
land.
lot of state land. Fast forward about a year ago, I had, I think it was about at the same time, 2 years ago, I had a discussion with Representative Jonathan Zlotnick about this issue. And at that time, the pilot payments of the Commonwealth to the town of Templeton were under $80,000 or about $30 an acre. And John was successful in raising it to in FY 2024, the payments were about $60 per acre. The figure, it was, I don't have it exactly in front of me, but I think it was around $154,000.
154,381.
Yes, that's the figure. Now, Diana DiZoglio, the state auditor, who I think is a real champion of the town of Templeton and other small cities and towns in the central and western part of the state, she actually did a study and a review, and the report came out earlier this year. And I did have a chance to read it. And what she stated in the report was that the median pilot payment to the cities and towns in the Commonwealth amounted to $127 per acre, or over double the $60 per acre that were paid Templeton in 2024. She also, and that's the median. There are actually that's the median, the middle amount. There are actually a lot of payments being made, well over $200 an acre, and in some cases, in the thousands of dollars per acre. I'm not sure where that property was. But this is a lot of dollars. If the letters in the motion just asked that that the legislature bring Templeton to the median amount of $127 an acre, but it also suggests, in the letter to Adrian Maduro, who's the chair of the committee, the House committee in the legislature looking at this, is I felt, and I drafted the letter, that it should be 1% per $100,000 per 1% of land. Templeton, about 6% of the land in Templeton is state land. So under that formula, the reimbursement should be $600,000 per year. So certainly it should be at least $127 per acre, but it really should be $232 an acre, which is $100,000 for 1%. So does anybody, it's a lot I've thrown at you. I hope, yes.
I think that never hurts to ask. And if you don't ask, you're not gonna get anything. And any increase that we can bring into the town, it isn't off the backs of the homeowners or the taxpayers, would be a big asset. That would be a big help. So it isn't gonna hurt to ask. And especially, why should we be treated any worse or less than anybody else? Our land, we have some beautiful land. You've got Lake Denison, some of that's in Winchton, Beeman's Park. You've got a lot of state land down behind me, the state land right off Phillipston Road. There's a lot of state land in Templeton, the Fertile School.
And also the state land, it helps keep the Quabbin Reservoir pure. I mean, it's indirect, but certainly, that should be a concern of a legislative and boss thing. I really am skeptical that the legislature will do anything to raise the amount of money. I really am skeptical.
Depends on how things are in the state,
Right, but like you said, if we don't ask.
If you don't ask, you're not gonna get it. Yep.
I just think that $60 an acre is really, way.
Yeah, maybe 60 years ago, but not today. Land's valuable.
Very valuable, exceedingly valuable.
Yeah.
Do you wish to say something, Liz?
No, I just think we should be doing this and every opportunity we have.
Yeah.
We should be, just constantly knocking on that door to hopefully get them to answer and.
Greasy
help
wheel
them.
gets, the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does. Yes, it does.
Yep.
Okay, any further discussion?
No.
Nope.
Okay. At this time, I would entertain a motion.
I move that we sign and forward this the letter off to the select board, asking for their assistance and sending it off.
The attached draft
With
letter.
the attached.
With the attached draft, yes, please. Thank you.
Second that?
Okay. Any further discussion before the vote? Okay, at this time, I'll call the roll. Bev?
Yes.
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 Liz? Jacqueline?
Yes.
I also vote yes.
I don't really turn the AC in there. It's stuffy.
It's what it is.
Okay.
All right, 5C, the next item, HERO Act discussion and possible recommendation regarding State Senate Bill S2456, seeking to speed up veterans reimbursements to Massachusetts cities and towns. The HERO Act was also one of the items discussed at the joint meeting with the select board last month. It appears that our town officials are implementing the HERO Act. It's going to be implementation over a multiple years. It's a very lengthy and complex act. The State Senate Bill S2456, the way the Mass General Law concerning reimbursement of expenditures of the town, the way it is drafted is that the payment can be made, you can make the request, say you make a request in January or during the year 2024, the state, the Secretary of Veterans Affairs can delay payment until November 10th, 2025. So in other words, a town can wait for up to 22 months or a little bit over 22 months. This bill S2456, this would compress that time span to 6 months. It would change the language. It would strike the section, with the November 10th of the following year, and substitute language what the language would be struck, such expenses to be on or before November 10th in the year after such expenditures. And so this bill would strike that language and replace it with the language of not more than 6 months after the date on which such expenditures are certified by the secretary. So it lowers the time from 22 months, a maximum of 22 months, to 6 months. That's what it does.
Did they discuss this last night at the select board meeting?
I haven't seen the tapes.
Okay.
Yes,
And they said that the reimbursements were coming rather quickly. I believe.
they were going, yes, but they were going to be changing, the state was going to be changing it from every 6 months to once a year is what I understood them to be saying, not.
Okay.
There are also, you could divide this into two. There are expenses of the town, the veterans agent. So we're not talking about a lot of dollars. And then there's reimbursements to the veterans themselves. This is the town, expenses that the town may have. It speeds it up.
Okay.
Yes.
With technology today, it shouldn't take that long. Years ago, you had to do everything manually by hand. You know, so it would make sense back then, but not anymore.
I personally think, and I think anybody who's been in private business is anything over 30 days is late to me.
I know, I know.
And I think that 6 months is very, very late.
Yep.
Um,
And if you're waiting for money and you need it, it's really a long wait.
It is. and I-
So it would make sense to try.
Chair. The other part of it is by the state extending the time from reimbursement from the time that the town pays out versus reimbursement. That's time that the state can get interest off of holding those funds as opposed to the town getting those funds.
Yeah,
So,
that's certainly another facet to this. Yes. Okay, I would entertain a motion.
I move that we request the select board to take our so
Draft.
yes, our draft under advisement and take the next steps.
Yeah, there's also a draft letter to State Representative John
That's what I was looking for.
John McGonigal as well. It's a draft letter. It basically repeats the motion.
don't know that you sent me that. Oh, yeah, right here. Yep. It's right there.
Yeah, Jonathan McGonigal.
It's on
John
the back.
McGonigal.
Yeah.
That would be attached to the motion to the select board. Just a while ago, we didn't,
Oh, okay.
we're just about to do it.
Fine.
Did you make a motion?
Yes.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Jacqueline?
Yep.
Okay. At this time, I'll call the roll. Bev?
Yes.
Yes.
Liz? Jacqueline?
Yes.
And I also vote yes.
I don't know if it's something in the building and stop coughing.
You all right?
Yeah.
Right. The next item, discussion and recommendation to the select board regarding a possible demand letter to Phillipston and the State Department of Education regarding Phillipston payments portion for the Templeton Elementary School. At this time, I would ask that my fellow members table this until next week. And the reason for this is that we have two sets of drafts. And we have two members who took a lot of time and effort to do it. Jacqueline came up with a draft, and also April came up with a draft. And there's just a couple reasons why I would like this tabled and an additional draft is I'll give the reasons, and each of you can comment on this. I believe that our letter should be directed only to the Templeton Select Board, and that the letter recommend that the Select Board engage Town Council to draft demand letters to Phillipston and to DESE. I also, the other reason why I would like to table this is that the dollar amount really needs to be sharpened and defined more exactly. If the monies asked for are just Phillipston's portion of the bonded indebtedness for the Templeton Elementary School. You were talking about roughly $100,000 per year. And if you're talking about school bus transport, that figure might be in the neighborhood of $90,000 per year. So if you were to add that up per year and over 5 years, it would be $200,000 a year roughly, and $1 million over 5 years. Or you can take this approach, or you can take both approaches, but this approach is a far different dollar amount, is that you could determine the exact per pupil cost. And if you use the figure of $10,000 per pupil per year, you know, the students in the Templeton Elementary School from Phillipston, assuming $10,000 per year and 50 students, that would be $500,000 per year. And if you multiply that by 5 years, it would be $2.5 million. So as you can see with one set of figures, just the bonded indebtedness and the school bus transport, those two pieces, back of the envelope figure might be $1 million that the town would be asking for. If you use a per pupil cost, and if that per pupil cost is, you know, around $10,000, then the demand would be greatly increased to potentially $2.5 million. And I just feel strongly that we should, as a recommending body, you know, try to nail the figure down with at least some degree of accuracy. I don't think you're gonna get 100% there.
Blanks.
But what?
So that's why I left blanks.
Right, that's why they were blanks. Well, so that's the second issue is, you know, it should be directed to the select board. You got the different dollar amounts, and then there's the third issue is whether there's an agreement or not.
There is that.
And there's certainly not a written agreement. But on the other hand, the state has been sending money as if we're a regional school district. And yeah, and so there's that issue. And what I'm going to suggest is that's an issue that town council and the select board should decide, you know, when they write the letter. I think our recommendation would be to write a letter, but you know, how that letter should be shaped. Yes, Bev.
Okay, last night was very enlightening. My friend Mr. May, the money man, is really very, very good at a lot of things. And what he did, he did a presentation last night. And he sent me a copy today. I'm going to have each of you get a copy of what he said. And what he said at the meeting, if you get a chance to watch it, was some information that he has found, and he's smart enough to wave a red flag, because we have another issue coming down the road, and it's coming lickety split. Tell it the capacity of Templeton Elementary School is 655 students. We already have 585 there. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but I want you to watch, it's at the end of it's into the old business at the meeting. And I'm going to send you what he sent me today, because you're going to see the breakdown of how many Phillipston kids, how many Templeton kids. And to kind of round it all off, he brought up the fact that we have 3 developers or developments that want to come to this town.
One thing that he did not take into consideration last night is the fact that Phillipston is still building. They're building,
I
there's
know.
new construction all over Phillipston,
Yep.
and those students are going to be coming here also.
I've been saying that for a while.
So what he ended up coming up with in a nutshell is that Baldwinville Elementary School has got 45 units, and there are gonna be children in there. Then Baker Lane, they wanna put in, I think it's 20 houses. There could be a possible 40 to 80 bedrooms there. And there's gonna be kids. Brooks Road. We could end up with, what are we gonna do? And that's what, the biggest issue is, Phillipston hasn't paid us. I talked to Will Spring today, he was on the advisory board, and he met with Phillipston years ago when this plan was being made, and they would not work with us. So basically, what the town has to decide is, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna build another school? Because I know a lot of people that are not happy at all. So I want you to look at the fact that we could have at least another 200 kids. Where are we gonna put them? And who's gonna pay for it? We haven't paid for this one yet. You know, and something that he did not bring into consideration is us old people, okay? The biggest population is in this town right now is the elderly. I'm one of them.
Yeah, I'm one of them too.
When my husband and I are gone, and the dog is gone, more than likely, there are gonna be more than 2 people that move into my house. So all of the big houses, people had a lot of kids back then, we're gonna have younger families moving in with their children. So we have to figure out what we're gonna do. We could send them a letter and ask them to pay us. This has been going on for so long, it's not even funny. And they haven't had the slightest interest in forking off over any money.
What is
It's
the
not
reason?
fair to the people in town.
Does anybody know what their reasoning is?
The reasoning is because they're getting a free education for their elementary school
They don't
kids.
have to buy the cow, they get the
Nothing
milk
but
for
the truth.
free.
But they just like all of a sudden stopped paying, like.
No, they never paid.
They
They never
never
paid
paid.
for a new elementary.
There is a 1977 agreement, that's the last one.
It's the live one.
And then also the elementary school is the preschool kids, and that was never in the agreement. So I think life is gonna get harder for the middle income people. We don't have any business in town anymore. We used to have Temple Stewart that would kick in money to help us out. And I think the real question is, what are we gonna do? And that's kind of what they were looking at last night, because there's gonna be a big wave coming at us. And if we don't figure out how to get a boat in the water real quick, we're gonna be in trouble.
I agree with everything that you have
Yeah,
said.
yeah.
I agree with everything that you have said, is that we are certainly going to have, probably in the next 3 to 4 years, at least another 200 children.
Very possibly could.
I think we will. In the last 5 years, we've had 200 children come in. Since COVID, we've had 200 additional children come in since then. And the numbers are not abating. So I think you're spot on as far as there being an extra 200 children.
Yeah.
I mean, this is fueling the demand where, the regional school committee every year is coming, with $1 million additional requests for monies every single year.
I look
Yeah.
back at that, okay? Oh God, way back, 1991. We had the selectman, Temple Stewart had left. And apparently the selectmen didn't dawn on them that all this revenue that we were getting from this business was gonna be gone. And they didn't plan. We had no money. The state held our free cash for a year. And we were broke. We had to lay everybody off. We took all of our stabilization to bail ourselves out. And the school held our feet to the fire because they wanted their money. They have to realize that they are as much of the town as we are. That we count, that it's like they're oblivious. Not doing your fair share is disgusting. It really is. It is disgusting. The school committee, they owe the people in town. They can't just say all our interest is the school and we don't care about anything else. How many times we have been broke in this town every 5 or 6 years? And when we're broke, it takes us 3 years to get out of the hole we're in. We never get in, really never get out.
Mr. Chair, we're getting a little long.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, we are. But what I'm saying is that there has to be a change, a big one. And now it's up to the school. It's really more up to the selectmen as to how they want to handle it. Yeah, we can ask them for money. It doesn't mean we're going to get it.
So what, Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
Yes.
If I may, so what Mr. May was saying last night, it really just kind of puts, it, regardless of the agreements, regardless of everything else, there's a problem that is coming.
Yep.
Now, the agreements are just adding to it. Right now, it's at least in my personal opinion, it's in Phillipston's best interest to continue to ignore us. I think the letter is the right approach.
Okay.
For us to go to the select board going, all right, it's time. It is, we've tried everything. And now it's time to start involving the attorneys.
It's festered long enough.
Yeah,
So what I would like to do, no, I'm sorry.
I don't think it's fair that the Templeton taxpayers are carrying that. I'm a little confused as to like where are the Templeton, the Phillipston parents? Why aren't they speaking up in regards to this? It's been something that's been thrown around. Why hasn't the school committee had any conversations in regards to this?
They can ignore it.
It can't be ignored any further. And I mean, they use our fields, they use our senior center, they use our schools. I think it's time that we start reeling it back in.
Okay,
Yeah,
I think,
we need to stick to like
Yeah.
60 day, like I think 90 days.
I think
We've
90
given
days-
them
90
90
days is
years.
too long.
Like, let's just.
I would honestly like to just do a 30-day demand,
Yeah.
like,
right. What I would like to do is I would like to table this
Okay.
for 1 week.
Yeah.
And then I would like to have, let's start from scratch, if I could. If April and Jacqueline, if you could both write drafts.
Mine's probably gonna be similar to what I wrote, but yes.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
And with an eye to actual dollar amounts.
okay.
Dollar amounts.
Do we have a copy of the 1977 agreement?
I'm sure in the selectman's office.
Okay, that'll be somewhere.
Yeah.
Thank you for getting that more evened out.
Yeah,
So, April, are you willing to, try to come up with a draft with,
I did that draft.
Yeah.
I would definitely come up with another draft in regards to that and include the dollar amounts.
well, what I
don't
could
know.
do is I could write a draft for both of you, to pick away at it.
Okay,
Why don't we do it that way? Why don't I write a draft
Okay.
and then when we come up with something, we can circulate it, we can circulate it.
okay, so we're just gonna ignore the drafts that are in our packets?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, and I'll come up with a draft and then, you could pick away at me.
I think that we need to send a letter to the select board. And I also think that we need to provide them with a draft letter for Chris Cassavant so that he's on notice. I think that we need a draft letter to the Phillipston Select Board. And I also think that we need and then have the attorney review them. So there's nobody waiting for, we're not dragging it out any further. They can either take those letters and run with them, or they can recreate them themselves.
So I've attended the last year's worth of subcommittee meetings with the school committee, and they are aware, they're very aware, and they have advised that their recommendation from DESI, because this is unprecedented from DESI, is that the town councils just get involved and that's it. So they're not aware. Dr. Castleman is very well aware,
Oh, yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Just had a very lengthy email with him. School committee's well aware, Phillipston's well aware, but
This hasn't been a priority.
the school committee can't do anything. It's a town council related thing. They would love for this to be fixed because in order for us to branch out in any way, shape or form, we need to be able to have a stable, signed school agreement. We can't get and receive and barter and deal with other schools and try to make a bigger regional district or any of that or share funding because who would want to come into this? Not one single school district. So they would love for it to be fixed.
But DESI is not going to fix it unless they are forced to fix it. And forcing means you tell them that they're going to be sued if they don't use their inherent authority to fix this.
So it's been my recommendation that like just one thing goes out and it goes to the select board. And this is our recommendation.
And everybody's got.
That they have to, that this is what we're recommending, that they get town council involved and that they do the right steps because we don't want to get ourselves into some kind of legal.
I feel like they've already discussed this.
They've discussed it, but they have not reached out to the town council and the next steps and sent a demand and town council hasn't reached into.
Yeah, we had a recommendation back in February and that,
I remember hearing about that and then nothing. So
so what can be done as well.
It's a different board,
Yeah,
it's different people.
right. But the other thing that can be done as well is if the town's not going to do anything, then private citizens can send notices of intent to sue. And believe me, if you sent Desi a notice of intent to sue or sent Phillipston a notice of intent to sue coming from an individual private citizen or a group of them, that would get their attention.
So when this first, if I may.
Yeah.
sorry, When this came up a number of years ago, I called Desi and went,
I was just gonna say,
I called and I asked then, and what I got told was it's an agreement between the two towns that forms the regional school district. And as such, the school committee and the school district are only affected by the results of the agreement between the two towns. And the only way to get it resolved is for one town to sue the other town. And that's it. And that Desi was not going to get involved. It's been a number of years and people have turned over and everything. But I think if the select board hears it and then, a request for a specific agenda item on the next select board, when it gets written, that's an actual agenda item for it to move forward. And that we just keep bringing it up to them until it does.
Okay, then,
I don't think it needs to keep getting brought up. I think it's something it needs to be addressed.
Right. right, okay, let's close this out.
Yep.
If everybody's in agreement, we'll table it. I will come up with drafts. And then Jacqueline and April, you can pick away at me, and then hopefully we'll come up with a final product.
Mr.
I'll
Chair,
send you that information
want
from
to move
Bob.
to table it to the next
Open
meeting?
your eyes.
Yeah, why don't we have a motion to table?
I guess I'll move to table this to the next advisory meeting.
I'll second it.
Okay,
Can we be specific on the date in regards to that? Because it's not going to be the next one. It's going to be Thursday, the 31st. We have a special one, which not.
no, it's gonna be on the agenda for.
For next week.
Okay,
It's gonna be on the agenda.
which is
It will be
July 30th.
discussed and we'll have draft to vote on and boom, it's gonna go to.
because I think that, stating the date and the time that it's going to be taking place may draw some of the other members of the public in here with questions in regards to it and maybe wanting to have some input on it. So that's why I'm stating that instead
Sure.
of the next month, it's going to be next week.
No, it's gonna be next week, and at the end of that meeting, we're going to have a motion, a recommendation that will go to the select board for their consideration during their first meeting in August.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna vote?
All right.
Mhm.
All right, Bev?
Yes.
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 I also vote yes. Thank you all for very good discussion. Okay, the next item on the agenda, discussion and possible recommendation to the select board regarding use of comparable towns data. Um, if I may, this was brought up again, another item that was brought up at the joint meeting between the select board and advisory. I know Liz, Liz in particular has been a proponent of using the comparable towns data. The select board, they indicated that they have, through the Division of Local Services, they feel that they have a lot of data that they can use. Liz has suggested, and I think is a very good suggestion, is that she has suggested that the budget book go back 3 to 5 years and also go ahead, project 3 to 5 years into the future. And the main question would be, I think it's a very good idea, but the devil is in the details, I guess, is how do we do this? So what has also been discussed, and again, Liz had brought this up, was possibly doing using the comparable towns data, for each position within town government to see if that how that compares to the other comparable towns. We did recently revise. We have a new list of comparable towns. That was presented to the select board within the last 6 months. So the list is fresh, so to speak. They really are the other 10 or so towns. They're very, very close to size and budgets and situations, as is Templeton. And so I guess the question is, what should we do with the comparable towns data? And what I would like to do is, I would like to ask Liz if she could make, any further comments.
The only other comment is that for a change in the budget book, my understanding is it needs to go in front of town meeting, that this is how we're going to show the budget. So we would have to put together an article for town meeting that says we want, 5 years before, 5 years after, 3 and 3, whatever it is that we decide on, and make that as part of the budget process, is my understanding of what needs to happen. And each year the budget book looks a little different, and it seems to be getting less and less information in it every year. And so there is a standard that is I think it's either the DOR or the MMA that says, these are the kinds of things that should be in the budget every year. And even if we go with something as simple as this is the expectation, this is the standard, this is what the town expects for the budgeting process to look like. So that way it's consistent from year to year. It stays with the best practices, and that's really where I'd like the town to get to. So we have an idea of where have we been, where do we think we're going?
Yeah.
So you're saying that we would need to recommend to the select board that they adopt this standard or place it on a warrant for the fall town meeting.
Yeah. Mhm. I would think we would need to draft it and recommend the warrant article for submission by the advisory board for a change.
Any thoughts on the suggestion made by Liz?
No. I agree with you. I think it does need to be written out. But in the same aspect, from somebody who's new at all of this, when speaking and writing things, I think like sometimes the definition, so you'll see like when I get up at town meeting, I start asking questions. It's not necessarily for me, it's for the general public. Like us speaking, sometimes they don't understand anything that we're talking about. And when I pick up that book, it's like a foreign language to me.
Mhm.
There's a lot of abbreviations used. You just did MMA. What is that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that that's something that we need to keep in mind when we're giving all this information out to the public, because, they may see a certain dollar amount in a specific account and think that that's up for grabs. You know what I mean? Like, so why are we not hiring another police officer? We have X amount of dollars over here, not understanding that you can't just transfer.
Well, yes, what I'm
I think
envisioning.
that's why you may have seen it dumbed down a little bit.
I disagree for the reason.
Okay.
I have my own suspicions. What I noticed in doing ticking and tying in looking through just the budget versus actuals, the BVAs, right? And looking at trends and things, it's like, oh, this in isolation, I would interpret it one way, looking at the budget book, because all you're getting is today's, whatever the person who put the budget book together wants to present, right? It doesn't include a bunch of other things like, well, over the past 5 years, I'm just making up numbers, this account was 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Oh, we want to make this 3,000. And then 3,500, 4,000, 4,500.
I get you.
And that is what I'm trying to get to. This year's was missing the reporting structure, departmental reporting structure was not in this year's book. It was in last year's book. It wasn't correct, but it was in last year's book. And so it's specific things that agencies and groups who can recommend best practices, I believe the town should somehow try to incorporate into our budgeting process. And my understanding, and I'm sure somebody will correct me if I'm wrong out there, that for a change in how the budget is presented, that has to go in front of town meeting for them to go, yes, that's what we want. I think that's what has to happen. And so that's why I'm making that recommendation.
Okay.
And we can, if we want to also table this, let you guys get your feet under you a bit. First we can talk about it either the next meeting or the meeting afterwards, whatever.
We can if we can table it for not the next meeting on Thursday. We have a lot to talk about on Thursday. But for the meeting after, that would be great.
Okay.
Okay,
So I can get a
Is
sense.
that agreeable to you, Bev?
Sure.
I'll make that motion.
Yep, that's good.
You make it.
It's so moved that we table it for, it will be it won't be next Thursday, whatever the next
Early September
yeah. The first meeting in September, how's that? The first advisory meeting in September.
Okay. And can somebody between now and then send me the proposed,
there isn't one. Dates, meeting dates.
no,
Oh,
with the towns that we're comparing?
I don't know that
Do we have a list?
We have a list. I'll
Okay.
make sure that you get it.
All right.
I don't know what the list is either, so.
Yeah, I
That'll be
don't
great.
either. I don't know if we have we confirmed how many, I don't know, I heard 10 towns, 12 towns. I wasn't sure what we were,
5 towns, yeah.
yeah.
It's, we had 13 towns, and I think, we have between 10 and 13 towns, but we can
Wow.
vote on it.
Well, I'm just gonna be honest. I'm gonna reach out to them and ask for their presentations. I'm gonna look for their books.
Yeah, that'd be a good place to start.
Yeah.
I also, I don't know if we finalized the list because I do believe Mr. Bennett said that like, if any of these towns that are on the list don't have a regional school district, they shouldn't be considered.
Okay.
And I did agree with that, because that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a number of different ways you can come up with a list.
Mhm.
And then, to Mr. Bennett, the regional school system is one. Another one that's big to me is whether they have a municipal light plant or not.
Yeah,
But you include like Sterling they have a municipal light plant, very close in size to Templeton, but their median income is probably double that of Templeton, so it's not a good comparison, except for the fact they have a municipal light plant and about the same number of miles of roadway, so
Right.
it's difficult to come up with 10 towns that are really.
yeah, because you have to also take like consideration of full-time police and fire.
But your question was, you need the list, we will make sure that you
Yeah.
get the list.
Thank you.
You have the list as well, should we distribute this to all the members?
Yeah, I don't have the list either.
Right, well, if no one seconds, I second Ms. Toth's recommendation, we table till September.
The first meeting in September.
Okay, I'll call for a vote, Bev?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Liz?
Yes.
Yes,
And I also vote yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, the next item is 5F, discussion and possible recommendation to the select board regarding the Templeton Sewer Department billing.
There's a letter in there.
And if I could speak on this a little bit. If I could speak on this a little bit, yeah. The recommendation.
for the sewer, it's on
Yeah.
it's on the back of one of these pages,
It's actually a standalone.
that's actually its own page. Yeah, that's Templeton sewer billing. Keep going.
You want mine?
Maybe
Okay.
here.
I have an extra copy.
All right,
Your other pile, there's piles everywhere.
yeah. This is kind of an overview. This is an issue that came up at town meeting. And we had advised, we did briefly discuss this, but we had other members at the time. But it appears that somebody who ignores paying the sewer bill, they can't shut off water or enforcement. There's issues. And in discussing this issue, it appears that over the past 20 years, and Bev, maybe you know this a little bit better than I do, is that apparently it's been under the purview of the light board, and then it went and became the sewer commissioners, and that's the way it is. It seems like it's swung back and forth at least once or maybe twice in the last 20 years. I think that people that I've spoken to, there seems to be widespread thinking that the sewer billing should be with all the other bills. I know in a conversation with you, April, you mentioned the town of Clinton, which I think was a very good idea, is they have a quarterly bill, I believe you said, where there's the property tax and the water and the sewer and all the town bills, you get one statement, one bill. That's it. It seems to me, one of the observations that I've made since I've been on advisory is that the town seems to be very decentralized. You have these groups, the municipal government piece, we're actually the third largest of all the towns. The schools of all the town departments, we're smaller than the regional school district, we're smaller than the municipal light plant, or roughly neck and neck with them. And then there's us, the municipal side, and then you have the sewer department. So you have all these it's very decentralized, and the reason for the recommendation of a committee is that when I talked with Mr. Driscoll, and I talked with Mr. Bennett, and I talked with other people, it seems like wading into this, with just advisory making a recommendation is that we're wandering into the swamp, and I don't know how deep it is. I get that sense. It's like quicksand. And I think the one way to resolve this or solve this problem is to come up with a committee. I think one committee that that could very easily or be able to address this comprehensively would be the existing capital improvements committee, but it's not really a capital improvement issue, it's a billing issue. But maybe so one piece of the recommendation of the select board is, let's give this to the capital improvements committee. The other suggestion is really have a committee with very similar people to the people who are presently on the capital improvements committee. You have a member of the select board, a member of advisory, perhaps somebody from the light board, the sewer board, or the town administrator. Yes.
So in regards to the committees, we created a committee to discuss the school thing. We created a committee to discuss this. Ultimately, the committee cannot make any decisions. I think that that's just dragging it out, wasting time, to be quite honest with you.
Yep.
I really think at this point in time, there seems to be a disconnect between the Templeton Light Department, the town of Templeton, and the sewer department. I think that we
have
need to,
decentralized government.
I think it's time to pull up our big boy pants and sit down at a table and hash it out. Like, what is the disconnect? Is it financial? Like, where is this disconnect coming in? Why aren't the three of you working together? Let's lay it out. Let's hash it out. Let's figure out a resolution all under one roof. Like, no more committees, no more investigating. Let's sit down and have a conversation.
That's what my original suggestion, April, was that we invite all the parties to an advisory committee meeting.
Yeah.
And say, all right,
Resolve
this is,
this.
Yeah.
we're going to resolve this. We're
I mean,
going,
we're adults. Let's figure it out.
right, and it'll very quickly become obvious as to what I don't know what the problem is, okay, but I'm sure it will become very obvious as to what the problem.
I think
is and
the
solution.
problem is money. I think that the conversion, may be more money than somebody is willing to pay. So how much money and who's willing to pay it? I think it comes down to money.
Power.
It's most likely it's different camps.
Well,
wanting
let's
to-
invite them to the September meeting. Let's
Well, Bev,
hash it out.
you might know. I mean, how much do
Okay.
you think it might cost to do this conversion?
Well, first of all, you have to have people that are willing to do it. And this is another instance of Templeton never fixing what was done wrong. When the sewer department came into being, the selectmen didn't know how to, weren't intelligent enough or didn't look forward enough to get a computer system. So the light company says, we can do it for you. The water department, I mean, not the sewer department, water department. So the water department ends up going with the light company. The light commissioner at that time got paid big bucks because now he had two departments. So they should have gone on one bill, like in Leominster, my husband got a water bill and a sewer bill on one bill. You pay them both. And they have never done that. And so if the sewer department gets paid, the water department gets paid, they say, we're paid, we're not going to shut the water off, we paid us. So the sewer department ends up having to take people to court. It costs everybody more money.
Yeah.
It doesn't, no one gains a thing. So it's ridiculous because it needs to get fixed. But unless they're willing to sit down and work and coexist.
I've been in town for 22 years and it's been like that for 22 years.
Yeah.
And there always seems to be some type of
This goes way back.
tension between the three.
So
there's tension because it's decentralized and these folks have
Because
large
everybody wants to be
budgets,
boss.
have large budgets too. But it's kind of, yeah, it's just turf.
But it's,
I
it's,
suppose.
it's the taxpayer that
That's
ends up
separate.
getting hurt.
So I like what April was saying, when you said it's the town of Clinton.
Clinton, yes.
Clinton,
Our tax bill, our water bill and our sewer bill were all one, well, all in one.
And I think that's a
Yeah,
great
yeah.
goal to work towards. I think.
yeah, I think if we can reach out to Clinton and say, okay, what are you using for software? What is your solution? How do you get there? You know, what did you do, or what do you do to make that work? And
It
for
was like
Yeah,
25
even if
years
they can
ago.
get them on one bill, they don't have to love each other. They don't have to hold hands.
no,
Right.
They just need to submit information so they can get, the billing can go
I
out.
think what I would like to know is I have no problem with inviting these people
The Indians not.
to,
me.
to come before us or at least submit letters. I would be interested to know is what is the cost to do that? Because that seems to me to
I think
be
it's just a matter
a
of,
big stumbling block in the past is the cost.
Because now they're sending out two bills,
three,
three, well, yeah.
tax, water, sewer,
Yeah.
3 separate billings.
yes, so we can legitimately make a recommendation.
Yeah.
To save money for the town overall, to save money by sending out one bill.
We're saving
per
postage,
quarter.
we're saving paper, we're saving,
Saving everything.
Everybody have their information at such a date. So that all the
Yep.
bills, they can go out together.
Well, why don't we just make that recommendation instead by not have committees or the
Yeah.
like? I have no problem.
so this recommendation to the select board is null and void because that's not what it states. So we're gonna have to table this until this, either Thursday or September, so that we can update this.
Well, it's been this way for so long, another
A
month
week.
or two,
A week.
or, yeah.
Well, why not? Why not? I like the idea of the Clinton model of a quarterly bill.
Well,
I can ask for a copy. Actually, I can go through my old files.
find out if a company does that. You know,
And I can get a copy of their billing.
yeah, find out who does a billing, see if it's a company. You know, because there's a lot of things in transition and with the town right about now. So if we're gonna make a change, we could maybe make a good one.
Mhm.
At the same time, everything's getting straightened out.
Maybe postage is up to 74 cents.
The postage is just going up.
Yeah, it's going
Who
up.
does
So-
billing? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna call the Clinton Town Hall. I'm gonna
It
ask
should be electronic.
who does their billing. No, that's because then you
That's
have the
coming up.
elderly
You-
who don't necessarily are not
Yeah, me.
that. Call Clinton Town Hall. I'm gonna ask who does their billing and then ask for a copy. I'll get one of tax bills.
If they know of anyone else that does it also, so we just get a couple of.
And why don't we put it on the agenda for quarterly billing? Make that recommendation, and when we have the hearing, see who shows up,
And then
see
again,
what they say.
with
Yeah, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Right.
a lot of people pay their taxes through their mortgages. It was part of our escrow.
Mhm.
It was included.
The water and sewer was included?
Yeah.
There we
I
go.
lived in Gardner, I think my water field was up to the escrow.
That solves a different problem. That's good. All right. Listen forward.
All right, so would you care to write a recommendation for,
I'll do that.
all right, you want that on the agenda for next week's meeting?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Is that agreeable?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay, can I just have a motion and a second to table this for 1 week?
I move that we table this conversation for 1 week.
Yep, I'll second it.
Yep.
Okay, we're now going to ask for a vote, Bev?
Yes.
April?
Yes.
Yes.
Liz, okay, Jacqueline?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. Thank you, I think that was very good discussion.
It would solve so many problems.
Well, I was thinking back to your electronic thing, to save even more money, maybe it could be an option that you get like a small discount if you go paperless.
Well, the thing with that is again, it's the lenders who are paying. Not necessarily the lenders. I don't know, never mind. I'll think
It's
about that.
protecting.
Even if we got the water and the sewer on the same bill, that would be an improvement. Because that way, people play games. And the tax collector, she can tell you that somebody will wait and wait and wait until they're gonna go to court and then pay something off, so there's a lot of games that people play.
Yeah, but I don't think it's intentionally.
Oh,
know,
yes, people
falling
do,
apart.
trust me. No, a
Okay.
lot of people
All right.
do.
Let's go on to
Yeah,
business.
okay.
All right,
Good.
the next item on the agenda is approval of annual dues, $201 invoice of the Association of Town
Yep.
Finance Committees. I just would like to make a comment on this. I know that advisory's budget was initially cut for MMA, Mass Municipal Association dues. And I know Jacqueline and I went for the first time in one of those meetings, and it was I thought it was very useful, but it is probably the main expense of the town. I am not sure. I have not had any contact in the time I've been on advisory with the Association of Town Finance Committees, and I'm not sure of what services that they offer. And I'm inclined to recommend that we vote not to continue with the Association of Town Finance Committees and just not pay this bill.
Oh,
Unless I know you've been around a lot longer.
I found those meetings extremely helpful.
Okay.
And
This is not the MMA people though. This is someone different.
yeah, Association of Town Finance Committees.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, if you feel it's useful, then I would change my mind and vote to approve this invoice.
Has it been budgeted?
I think it was. Again, this is the budget book changing.
July.
Why don't we also,
How many of you
would anybody
attended?
object to my tabling this until I can talk to Holly?
Sure. Go ahead.
That's fine.
No. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to table the annual dues invoice of $201
1 week.
by 1 week to Thursday,
July.
July 31st.
Second.
Okay,
What
any
were
further
we last?
discussion?
Pardon me?
Any
Yes,
further
yeah,
discussion? Okay, vote.
yes, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
April, you vote yes. Liz?
Yes.
Jacqueline?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, on the FY 2025 budget versus actual, that's the next item on the agenda. I just for Bev and April, what I have done in the past is I have asked for the members to review the budgets versus actual individually and then come up with a list. You can come up with it orally, but as to the page number, the line number, what the item is, and then we would compile a list that would go to the town administrator.
Okay.
And that's kind of the procedure. And also in speaking with Liz, I feel, and she felt, and I also feel that there's some items that really need to be looked into. And that would be, further review of some, items that, appear to be, right near the approaching the bid threshold.
Yeah,
There's that issue, and then there's also, credit card, issues.
and year-end expenditures. I've seen new signs that weren't talked about. I've seen cars getting detailed that weren't talked about. So yeah, I think that we do need to look at.
It's, did you receive the detailed year-end?
No,
Okay, all right,
It's in the, are you talking about the, FY25 in the packet?
It's not, in-
no, it's not in here.
it's not in the packet.
It's not in the packet. It's 222 pages. Sorry,
Oh.
detail. With the permission of the chair, I will forward that to everyone on the board, on the committee. It's, I go through a lot of paper at home,
Yeah.
and my printer's a kind of.
and
Brand new
for the
printer.
public's sake, when we're putting things out to bid, how are our contractors, our local contractors, to know where to find that? I actually had somebody approach me this week, and that's why I'm asking that question for the rest of the public, to be aware of where you can go to put a bid in on something that we have coming up. Because I honestly think that the same contractors who are continuously used are the only ones being notified that something's being open to bid on. So I think to give some of the new contractors in town the ability to bid on these jobs, maybe we can say where they can find that information, how we know that something's going to become available to be able to bid on, and things of that sort.
Yes, to everything you just said. The one thing I am not 100% clear on is the magic $10,000 threshold. And that I know if we're going to go do some sort of work and it's going to be over $10,000, we have to put it out to bid. What I don't know is, given your example there of, we use ABC contractor in January for $2,000, $3,000 in February, and I'm making numbers up, folks, $5,000 in March, we've hit 10,000.
Well, it's bid splitting.
Yeah.
No individual bid is over $10,000, but you add up the aggregate and it is over.
It is over 10,000. And I don't know where that line is for, is it really bid splitting or not? What is it? And if we're always going to the same contractor or set of contractors,
It's
that's a
not fair.
problem.
Yeah.
That's not,
Not fair.
it's not fair. So,
The other problem is, this has really got Adam, very upset. Definitely at the meeting is the school transportation contract, being 5 years with an 18% escalator. And, the explanation was that, it has to be 5 years because the vendor has to purchase buses and the like. But the underlying problem is that there appears to be just 5 or 6 vendors throughout the whole state, and it appears that there's some division of the geography. I believe that it's being investigated by the Attorney General, but obviously the impact on a small town like Templeton is huge. Is to have a multi-million-dollar contract with an 18% escalator, and it's a sole bidder. I believe there's also a sole bidder for the senior center kitchen. And I'm troubled by that. I really am troubled by.
Well, nobody else is aware of.
some of it is that.
Some of it is that, and I think part of it is the bid process itself. Is if you're a private contractor, you might not want to jump through all the hoops that you have to for municipal bids as well.
Yeah.
So
So I want to take a closer look at those numbers, and I think everybody else should also, but it's 222 pages.
That's fine.
Right, I was gonna suggest, does anybody have a problem if we table that to the first meeting in September?
I see a pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I will move that we table the the FY 2025 budget versus actual conversation discussion to the first meeting in September.
And do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any further discussion? Okay, there being none, Doug,
Yes.
April,
Yes.
Liz,
Yes.
Jacqueline?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. And then I'd like to go right into the July 2025 ZBA. Could I also have a motion about moving that to the consideration of that to the first meeting in September? Or we just want to let that go off the list because we'll have another BVA in
That's,
September.
yeah, but my concern is we're going to be talking about the year end, right? Yes, this will be the first month in the new fiscal years, the July. By the time we get to the September meeting, we will have two BVAs. And are we going to, is it worth the effort? I guess is if we're looking at the yearly, do we really want to look at July and August? Or, you know,
Could I suggest this, please? Why don't we have a review of the July 2025 BVA next week? Is that acceptable?
Yeah.
Okay, may I have a motion?
yes, we will review the July 2025 BVA budget versus actual next week's meeting, next Thursday.
May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
No.
Okay, Doug,
Yes.
April,
Yes.
yes, Jacqueline,
Yes.
and I also vote yes. And what I would do, I would encourage members to, come up with a list, on their own, and then we could consolidate that as a meeting and, present that to the town administrator. Next item, 6D. Discussion and possible recommendation or other action regarding the inventory of town assets.
Yep.
I apologize for getting this in front of the members, kind of short notice. I forgot to email this.
I actually did read this. There is an inventory program. I believe that the DPW has access to it. It's not being utilized to its full capacity. And I'm not sure why other departments don't have access to that same, or if they do, I'm not sure. If they do, or if they just aren't using it, and only Bob was using it. But I've heard it thrown around at a couple of selectmen meetings. Maybe that's something that we want to look into, because I think honestly, taking a picture and having a binder is kind of old school considering we have that program.
The thought process was this is the first step to know what we do and don't have.
Okay.
Okay, and Bob's program seems to be more towards the maintenance and upkeep
Oh,
as opposed to the actual financials of everything. And so it was upsetting to hear last night that Bob's program has been in existence for 2+ years to the tune of over $40,000 the town has spent, and he is not currently using.
Oh, my.
And there's software maintenance costs typically related to it. I don't know what they are, but it's 2 years, and I don't want to misquote, Bob, but I believe he said, well, now that he has a secretary and a foreman, they can go work on it. Well, this is 2 years in the making. And, I have requested a couple of times now, and last night I made it a records request for a copy of the asset register that the town auditor said he maintains. So I want to use that as a starting point. I would like to use that as a starting point, go around and either find or not find everything that's on the list, take pictures of everything we can find, because the software, whether it's in the asset register or in Bob's thing, depending upon what it is, it's proof that it exists, that we still have possession of it. No picture, no proof, it doesn't exist.
Yes,
Do you know how long we have been talking about doing this to find out what we actually own? We need boots on the ground to go poking behind every town-owned building to find out what is there.
Oh, like the two cruisers down at the DPW? I mean, the old,
Yeah.
animal shelter?
Yeah, there is, because that's the only way, because it's, get it out of here, just go park it. And there was stuff that we were supposed to turn in instead of giving it to somebody else. We need an inventory.
I saw that there was an auction coming up. Where did that,
So
where are the funds?
I
don't think it's, I think
it's not done yet. Things were not done in the proper order.
Oh,
I think all that stuff was packed out in front of the fire station in Templeton today.
okay.
But basically, we really need to go beat the brush and find out what's there.
okay.
Yeah.
The reason why I worded the language of the inventory was one of the discussions that we have had. This is, prior boards and other people, is that it appears that other towns have a binder book with a picture and a description of the asset.
Mhm.
And that appears to be a common practice, an acceptable practice, and we do not do it. And I think that the value of doing this is if you have it and stored in a place so that the public has access to, like the select board, office or the town clerk office. I think that would be very helpful.
Mr. Chair, do you think there's a way we can do it digitally? So then you could go to the My Town Government website and click things we have in a binder book, but it's digital.
Yeah, and then
It
anything.
should be digital rather than a binder book.
Printed
Yeah.
collection.
Yeah.
But having something we have nothing.
Right.
Yeah, can we utilize Bob's system to this capacity?
I don't know the answer to that question. I am making an assumption that we should be able to do something along those lines. But we keep buying
$40,000, I
stuff.
hope so.
Yeah, we keep buying stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
But we don't know what we have. We may not know where it is. Perfect example is the stainless steel, stuff that was supposed to be, at one point, the plan was to put it in the kitchen. I understand it's not good food quality, whatever at this point. I get that. But where has it been for 5 or 7 years?
Disappeared.
It disappeared. Where has the stuff for Hooten Park? Where is it? There are things that just are either donated or bought and they go poof. So we got to start someplace.
Mhm.
And the only way that I know how to start is taking a list that someone has been maintaining, right, over the years, and go through and figure out what is on the list. Do we still physically have it? Great, there it is. Here's a picture, here's proof. No, we can't find that. Flag it, and then the select board or the accountant or the auditor or somebody decides what to do with that information. But we have to start someplace.
Okay.
that was the idea anyways.
I like the idea of the record being digital or digital.
Well, there needs to be some kind of a program that someone could literally go around, you take a picture, where is it? How much is it worth? I'm like, and it's all it's gonna be pretty quick. You just drive around and do that. Not that I have the time for that, but somebody could do that. There has to be something out there that's.
I'm volunteering to take a couple days off from work to go do that, but I want a second person with me. so
I don't
just two of
mind,
us.
I don't mind helping you.
And if one of
Easy as
you
that.
can't, you can't go, call me and I'll go. Cause I don't have a problem with that. I have boots.
And I consider this financial, so we don't need to go get permission from the select board to go do this because it is
Within your realm.
it's within.
What is the sense of the committee as far as this motion?
Is it just notifying them that that's something we're gonna do?
It's the method of the inventory of town asset. And the binder book has been used, by other towns for a number of years, but I also think that we should be in the present century and have it
Mhm.
visualized. And I think that could be just as simple as going around with your cell phone and uploading it to the town's website with a description. I think it would be very easy.
Yeah.
But I also think, the select board should give their blessing to this.
Maybe, I don't know. I side with Liz that it's a finance thing, that we should just.
It's public property.
Mhm.
We're not going in anyone's backyard.
We're not putting it on eBay.
Really.
But they may be.
Somebody did.
Yeah,
So my question is, do we revise the motion or not act on the motion at all? What is the sense of the committee?
My paper. I did.
and would it make you feel more comfortable that we just notify the select board that this is what we're doing?
I think that's.
We can do that. We could do that.
Would that, Mr. Chair, make you more comfortable?
Yes.
Let's do that.
I just feel we should be respectful of the select board.
Sure, they'd be thrilled.
I think that some of them may even join us.
You understand though, is it?
Yeah,
Maybe.
No, I get it, but there are things, the select board has talked about this often enough in various
For years.
that.
And the
I'm
advisory
confident,
board?
And, we're not going out and planting trees, we're not going out and, doing things that are outside our,
Not destroying anything.
yeah, we're asking for a little bit of department heads' time to point out where these assets are. So we can take pictures of them and start the documentation trail. And I'm even willing to do some data entry if that would help move things forward.
Have a tablet, we can.
Oh, yeah.
We go.
So I move that we notify the select board that the advisory committee, that two members of this, at least two members of the advisory are going to,
It should be two to avoid open meeting law.
Yes.
It should be no more than two.
no more than two, yes. To, now I lost it. I move that we notify the select board that two members of the advisory committee will be taking an inventory based on the auditor's list. And we will report back as to our results.
I second that.
Jacqueline, can you read that back?
That is a long time coming.
Liz motions that we notify the select board that two members of advisory will be using the auditor's list to take inventory.
Oh, she has to work.
By way of taking pictures, or do
Sure.
you want to leave it open?
I would just leave it open.
Yeah. Take an inventory, yeah.
Okay. All right, can you read it one more time so that everybody's clear?
Liz motions that we notify the select board that 2 members of advisory will be using the auditor's list to take inventory
Of town property.
of town property.
That's suitable for you, Liz?
Well, certainly.
Okay,
Thank you.
do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second. Okay, any further discussion? Okay, I'm gonna bring it to a vote. Bev,
Yes,
April,
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Jacqueline?
Yes.
I also vote yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
chalk up another one that we haven't got done in a lot of years.
Well, it's gonna take a few days.
Yep.
Yeah, the next item of new business is 6E, discussion and possible recommendation concerning Roselli Town Audit Recommendation concerning assessors rebate accounts, also called the overlay account. And I believe that there is a motion.
It's on the backside of the State Senate Bill S2456.
I didn't hear you.
It's on the backside of this one that says State Senate Bill S2456. We already talked about, so it's on the back of that.
It's from Kyle.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
So you might have put it to the side thinking we were done,
Yep.
but we're not.
Falls on the bottom. Oh, here it is. Oh, the very bottom. Okay. All right, I guess I'm last, but does everybody have a copy of the draft motion?
Yes.
And I'd like to start by just providing a background on this. Advisory over the last couple of years has brought up this issue from time to time. And I believe last year, this was discussed directly with the assessors, and at that time, the advisory committee did not make a recommendation. The overlay fund, it stands at a very high dollar amount. I believe it's in the neighborhood of $800,000 and growing. And the rebates that are issued year by year are not anywhere near the amount that's being held. And after we discussed this issue with the assessors, Adam Lamontagne did have a conversation, and at that time, the assessors did return to the general fund. I believe it was in the neighborhood of $70,000 or $80,000, but there's still a large amount. And most recently, the Roselli firm, when they did their audit, and it was actually during the joint meeting, I believe it was June 25th, that the advisory committee held with the select board. Roselli gave their report, and they had very few items to highlight, but they told the select board and told us that the amount of monies in the assessor's overlay account was too conservative, and that the dollar amount was too high. Now, given that the dollar amount is too high, some of that amount should be returned to the general fund of the town. What really needs to happen is that the select board and the town administrator and the assessors need to get together and come up with a dollar amount. I use as an example is if the fund stands, if you look at the bottom paragraph, I use as an example, if the overlay fund stands at $800,000, and if the average dollar amount of rebates over the past 5 fiscal years has been $250,000, if you were to double that amount to $500,000, you would still be able to return $300,000 to the town's general fund.
Do we have actuals?
I use that as an example. I don't have the actuals, but I can tell you that it is in the neighborhood of $800.
Have we looked at it from like a 5-year perspective to see how much has gone back with, like, how much has been used within the last 5 years on a
No.
yearly?
No, but I can tell you that it is, I don't believe any one year has been more than $300,000 to $400,000. But again, I caution saying that
I think that we definitely need to do our due diligence and looking to see how much has been used in one given year within the last 5 years. And then from there, drop it down, just stop funding it with that high of a dollar amount to begin with.
Yeah.
So that you're not having to go back and ask for permission to transfer. Taking a couple steps.
Mr. Chair.
Historically, historically, the assessors have always been independent. So it'd be interesting to have them justify keeping so much money, you know?
that's the problem, is that they are independent and you want to respect
Well,
their independence.
You can, but
I get
it
that,
doesn't
and
hurt to ask them to make a change.
They deal with this day by day, we pointed, that out. We didn't make a recommendation as they came in and said, we have to be conservative, and I respect that. But when you have the outside auditor come in, Roselli, they come in and say, you're too conservative. That's an excessive amount. You can return. They didn't give a figure, but they said that the more money, a substantial sum of money should be returned. And
If we were a wealthy community and we had businesses helping us out, it wouldn't hurt. But $300,000 could be used in important places, I would think,
Every department within this organization, this town, falls under us. Nobody stands alone. Nobody's independent.
No.
So in regards to that, if an auditor is making a suggestion, I think it's time that we start acting on them. We have had auditors in here year after year after year making the same suggestions over and over again, and nobody does anything. They listen to them. It sounds all great, but I never see any action taken on them. And I'm going to be quite honest with you. The auditor coming in this last time and hearing the same thing over and over again is what prompted me to sit in this position. I'm sick of hearing it and not seeing anything done about it.
well, the other tack that we can take is, and I think I know where you're going, is that we can just come up with a dollar amount and say, we recommend you turn over $400,000 or half your overlay account and see what happens.
Well, I think that, again, we need to look at the history to
It
make
has to
sure
be
that we're
based
not
on
gonna put
something.
them
You
into a
just can't
deficit.
pull a number out of the air.
So let's look at the actuals for the last 5 years and come up.
I think that's a long enough period of time.
Absolutely.
And I suspect that the actuals are going to be
Less.
between $200,000 and $300,000.
Yeah.
So if you even double that average figure, if it is that average figure, then $300,000 could be returned to the general fund without any issues.
I mean, especially when we have TCTV over there.
Starving for money.
Yeah.
They're starving for money, and they're good people too.
And they do a great service for the community.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
if I can play devil's advocate for just a moment. So, when Justice did his quarterly conversation last night.
Yeah.
He explained that the assessors did look at it. They didn't feel it was appropriate to adjust it. Now, I understand, But the other part of the conversation that took place last night was the fact that there's $500 in senior work off for up to 20 individuals per year. So that's what, $10,000, right? Some towns have that senior work off amount up to $2,000. So what I'm advocating is the thought that before we go and say to, make a recommendation, we need to understand what's going to happen with that, because what my personal preference is and it's something that I think it's the select board has to do, is up the amount to $2,000 and also say to each department, these things that don't get done every year, you will, department head, provide X number of positions for valid work that's not shredding, that's not filing, that is something beneficial to the town, that's short term, that's $2,000 worth of it at the minimum wage, was, I think is what it ends up being at.
People going out and doing
I
inventory?
was just gonna say, taking pictures.
Taking pictures, things like that. There are things where, and there's one town out on the Cape, I want to say Dennis, I can't remember for sure, where it's not up to the department heads. Council on Aging actually organizes the whole thing, handles the whole thing, has a list of jobs that need to be done, and goes through and matches people up with their skill set with getting the work done. And it's a benefit to the town, it's a benefit to the individuals. And that my understanding of what the overlay account for is partially for those kinds of things, along with more of the veterans are taking advantage of things. There's, Justice mentioned somebody else that is using it more so in the past year than they
It's
have.
going to be needed more.
Right, so,
Going to be
but,
needed more.
Bev, to offset some of, if we had more than 20 positions.
Yeah.
Right, at $2,000, I'm just suggesting, right? Then that would help some of the folks on fixed incomes that have solid skill sets that could be used in ways to help the town. And that's my devil's advocate.
Yeah, I
So.
think you're right. I think whenever we're looking at something like this, there's a whole lot that you and I, none of us see. But Justice gave a good report last night. I listened to
I
it.
did too.
I told him I was proud of him. So, yeah, there's a whole lot more.
So why don't we cap that out at the 2,000
Mhm.
or 20, and then minus that dollar amount from our.
Initially, yeah,
Okay.
because the select board hasn't decided, they're just,
And that will give them a little cushion also, even though it's 500 or whatever it is. That will give them a little bit of a cushion, and then we're preparing for the future at the same time.
I think that's reasonable.
It's awfully easy to pass judgment if you're not in somebody else's shoes. You know?
Yeah, and I think Justice is a very fine
He
town
gave
official.
a great report
Yeah,
last
he
night.
does very well.
Yeah.
And, that's why to find the right dollar amount, there needs to be collaboration, but I do think there's a lot more. I think there's a lot of money that could be used elsewhere.
I don't have a problem with that either, but we need to make sure.
How do we get the actuals?
Yeah. And that's flexible too, it depends, I think coming down the road, if things get tight, people are gonna need help with their taxes. Because food's gonna go up, everything you buy is gonna go up.
I personally think it should be 30 households, $2,000.
Yep. But then.
But-
I know that sometimes I've heard, never paid a whole lot of attention that. Nobody wants to bother with these people to give them something to do. And that's not fair either.
And that's why if you have the Council on Aging doing it, they're already familiar with the individuals. they already have an idea of what their skill sets are like.
Yep.
And, it could be all sorts of different things that they could be doing.
It's a step.
It's just a new set of eyes because what we're currently doing doesn't seem to be working well,
Okay.
in my opinion.
Okay, what is the sense of the committee as far as what to do with this, motion?
I think that honestly, we need to get the actuals and we need to review them as a committee and come up with a dollar amount. And then
Okay.
from there, we regroup and then we send our recommendation.
Okay, that's fair. Would, the first meeting in September?
I'm not sure. I would assume that would be sufficient.
We can go for that, and if not, we can always change it,
Who's gonna take on that task?
of getting the actual.
Getting the actuals for the last 5 years?
Yeah, I would say actuals for 5 years. I think that's far enough back in
Yeah.
time. And then also, what the overlay account actual dollars has been the last 5 years. And I think from that, you would get an idea of what should be returned, even with the additional allowances for the seniors.
Does somebody else want to be tasked with that? Because I have quite a few things.
I'll
Well,
do it.
Okay.
okay. Yep. Lost my gas tax one.
Okay, I brought. Okay, do we need a vote to, on tabling this?
Yes.
Okay. On, regarding the, assessors rebate accounts, item 6E. I would entertain a motion, to, table this until the first meeting in September.
So moved.
Another second?
Second.
Bev?
Yes,
April?
Yes.
Liz?
Yes.
Jacqueline?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Mhm.
What I'll do is I will get the actuals and I will redraft the motion and,
Yeah, if you want to send it to me to review, I have no problem with that.
but I'll get the actuals. Last item is, this is an item I need to get actuals as well, but I bring this up for informational purposes is that, the reason why I placed that on the
I know
agenda.
it's here somewhere.
On the backside of the letter to the Honorable State Representative Joseph McConnell
The who? Oh, good,
that
that
we're
was.
talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Keeping and pecking.
In a nutshell, is gas and diesel is taxed at 24 cents a gallon. Heating oil is not taxed at all. But gas and diesel is taxed at 24 cents a gallon. And
Yeah, it's right here, this one, right?
yeah, thanks. If you bring in one 10,000 gallon tanker truck a day, which I think between the two Cumbys and Hafner's Hoodlers, you are bringing in a tanker truck a day. Is you multiply that 7 days a week, 10,000 gallons, it's 70,000 gallons a week. And over 52 weeks, it'd be 3,640,000 gallons. And if you collect gas tax revenue would be $873,600 per year. And over 10 years, it would be $8.7 million. The reason why I bring this up is I'm going to obtain actuals. I've been trying to obtain actuals. I approached the retailers in town, and I also approached the Department of Revenue, and I've not been able to get actual figures yet. So this is kind of back of the envelope figuring, but
Yeah.
my reasoning for bringing this all out is one of the things that the state in particular ignores and that we have ignored over the years at the town level is the number of dollars that leave the town and go to the state and the number of dollars that come back. And I've had this conversation with Representative Zlotnick, and he says, well, there's a lot more state dollars that come back as opposed to the dollars that come in, because we're a poor town, and so there's not as many dollars going into Boston, and there's more dollars coming back, as an example, for welfare or assistance. And but my problem with this is on the advisory committee has twice written to Matthew Gorkowitz, who is the state Director of Administration and Finance. On the executive side, he's the right-hand person, the numbers person for Governor Maura Healey. And he grew up in Baldwinville on Pleasant Street, and he is
What's his
a Matthew Gorkowitz.
Huh.
Matthew Gorkowitz. He is a 1990 graduate of Narragansett Regional High School. And I asked him, how did you end up being the Secretary of Administration and Finance? And he said, he ended up working with Senator Brewer and
Okay, yeah.
moved his way up in
Yes.
state government. But we've asked him on 2 different occasions is what all the dollars that go out to the Commonwealth and all the dollars that come back, and not even a response. And I've asked this question of other people, and it's it's very easy to find the information. Well, it's 24 cents a gallon for every gallon of gasoline and diesel, but it's very hard to find the actual number that comes out. And in this little memo, what I'm trying to say is that when you look at the projects that have been done in the last 10 years, and you look at what the town has sent in, there's a difference of almost $5 million.
Yeah.
And that is unfair. And and this is going to come up at the meeting in September, but Senator Joanne Comerford, she has filed a bill, and I'm going to look it up, and I'm going to distribute it. This is going to be a recommendation, but she has actually filed a bill that states that the money that goes into the Commonwealth and comes back is unevenly distributed, and it needs to be distributed in a fair manner that does not favor the eastern part of the state or wealthier communities, and it really does. And this is, one example. If you got a gap, and I think that's a pretty accurate figure, is that you probably have a gap over 10 years of just under $5 million.
A lot of money.
And it's a lot of money, and we should be able to get back some of that. The legislature, and this is where this is kind of the difference between the Republicans and our Senator Peter Durant and our Democrat Representative John Zlotnick. There was actually a proposal that either 3 or 4 cents of every gallon be a local option, the way the meals tax is. But the proposal being from the Democrat side, the Democrat point of view was, yes, let's have the local option, but have it tacked on to the 24 cents a gallon. On the Republican side, there have been proposals of, well, 24 cents a gallon is enough. Why not give the towns back 3 or 4 cents a gallon? And neither proposal has ever made it through the legislature, and it's never even been addressed. You can do the same thing with lottery receipts. There's probably $8 million a year that leaves Templeton in the form of lottery receipts. The distribution of monies for lottery receipts is actually for Templeton quite fair. One is residents of Templeton bet $4.80 for every dollar that the town gets back. you know, you gotta give out prizes, you have administrative costs. It's actually quite fair because when you look at other towns, Nantucket, they have a lot of bettors playing the lottery there. But because they're a very wealthy town, the ratio is for every $150 spent by a resident in Nantucket, they get $1 back. So it's very uneven and it's very unfair. And
The town's grown a lot.
it has grown a lot, and all I'm saying in this memo is, you know, it's something that should be thought about. I'm sorry I've kind of gone on a long time. It's late at night.
All right, I
But,
think it's worth a shot.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, it will. There will be a recommendation. I will, you know, try to get accurate figures if I can ever get it from the Department of Revenue. And I will try to get actual numbers. But I think it's something that you should explore, you know, make a recommendation. That's all I have to say.
Mr. Chair, wouldn't that be a records request? Because somebody has to have an actual record of it.
I need to hunt. I need to hunt, and there's a couple other places where I'm going to hunt. But yes, I think it could be the subject of a records request. So in any event, at this time, the next item on the agenda is that of member comments. I just want to start by saying thank you, April, and thank you, Bev, for agreeing to you know, become a member of the advisory committee. You know, it's a big commitment. I think you both you know, had a lot positive to offer, and you know, I appreciate the work that you've both done so far. And I also want to say I'm very appreciative of you know, the input from Liz and also the minutes that Jacqueline has done. And
Sorry, Jacqueline.
I kind of hounded her the last day or so, but I really appreciate it. But in any event, Bev, I'll start with you. Do you wish to make any comments?
I think that this is a good start. And I think we are gonna get a lot accomplished. And I think that makes me very happy.
Thank you. April, do you wish to make any comments?
Yes, I have been listening to Bev for the last 22 years at the town meetings,
Yeah.
repeating the same things over and over again. And I am excited to be a part of this committee. I'm excited to have her sitting alongside of us and helping us through this. I'm also excited to be working with the select board. I think that we're going to get a lot accomplished.
Good. Liz, do you have a comment?
Well, you started by taking mine to say thank you to both April and Bev for joining us, and a huge that a girl, you know, to Jacqueline for all of the
All the typing.
yeah, all the typing and the minutes. It's not easy taking minutes. It is
Awesome.
not easy at all. So thank you very much. I hope we do get a lot accomplished. Say I understand why we move things to other meetings. I hope this does not become a pattern for us, and that we discuss something, we make decisions, we move forward, we make change, we, you know, within our allowed areas, make recommendations, and
But you do understand why things were moved.
oh, no, I understand. It's just we moved a lot tonight.
Mhm.
And I, hopefully we don't do that in the future too much.
We can blow through a lot of stuff too.
Yeah, and so, I'm hoping we can make a lot of positive changes for the town and recommendations and the only last thing is I'm still learning an awful lot. I have a lot to learn. I'm still doing a lot of reading. And I would, just appreciate everyone's patience with me. Thank you.
Jacqueline.
I am so thrilled that we have 5 people now. So then, you know, someone can actually get sick. We need to. Not have to cancel the whole meeting or go on vacation, which I told Noel he should take a vacation. And thank you so much for coming. I was like fleeing and playing when I was at 2, 3 meetings, 12 meetings ago. And I'm as much as not super thrilled to be back next week. I do think we have a decent agenda that we can hopefully try to just plow through and and like really buckle down on these things that we've been talking about for quite a while. Let's get them done. Let's get them going and get them out there. And I'll have everything for people to sign next week. It
Thank
doesn't have
you.
the word of scrap on it.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much for your comments. At this time, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, and I'll do a roll call vote. Bev?
Yes.